We've had the Maruti Suzuki Victoris in our long-term fleet for over 6 months, and over these 6 months we have driven it in varied conditions, varied climates, and over the next few minutes I'm going to be telling you as a buyer everything you need to know about this car, especially from a pros and cons perspective before you go ahead and put down your money. Now your first interaction with the car is always going to be the design, and in this case what you get with the Victoris is a nice clean design. Unlike some SUVs in the segment which have a polarizing design, this isn't polarizing, it's easier on the eye. You can see the chrome strip that goes from one end to the other along with these sleek LED DRLs. It helps accentuate the width of the car. Beyond that, the creases on the bumper and on the front are again nicely done. Nothing has been overly done. 17-inch alloy wheels on the side give it a good road stance, and if you look at the overall body shape, the way the roof goes to the back, the tail lamp itself, which has got a dotted pattern and goes from one end to the other, all of it comes together and gives you a car that looks modern and at the same time it looks pleasant. Now once you step inside the cabin of the Victoris, you will like the place you're in. Because first of all, when you talk about the dashboard, you start off with the soft touch material here on the lower part of the dashboard. The texture given in the middle part again adds a bit of a premium flair to it. The top part is hard, but then again the interaction with it when you touch it is quite nice. The screen that you see here, it is similar to what we're seeing in other Maruti Suzuki cars, so you get a familiar kind of a user interface which is easy to use. You get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and you also get Suzuki Connect, so you can download apps and you can get access to a lot of data, so that helps your everyday usability. Beyond that, in terms of features, this car gives you a very rich cabin. You get an HUD display which is customizable. The steering wheel is a multifunctional unit with paddle shifters. You've got a wireless charger here, two Type-C sockets, and also beyond that a 120-volt socket. The front seats are ventilated. This one, the driver's seat, is electrically adjustable. The panoramic sunroof is massive. It's electrically operated. So yes, in terms of features, it's definitely loaded car. And do not forget ADAS. It also comes with ADAS. And by the way, in terms of ADAS, this car has a feature that almost none of its rivals have. So unlike other cars where you need to go into the touch screen, fiddle with the system, if you want to turn off some system or maybe tune it, here there's a simple panel given. You simply go here, at the click of a button you can turn off, turn on your ADAS settings. That is very clever and neat at the same time, and a good example of the smart engineering that you will see a lot of places inside the Maruti Suzuki Victoris. From a family perspective or from a 4-occupant perspective, rear seat has a very big role for any buyer. And here in the Victoris you get good amount of space. You can see I've got good amount of legroom. I can easily slide my feet under the driver's seat. So it's been designed nicely in that way. Good amount of knee room clearance. Then again, I've got decent amount of headroom clearance, and if you'll see, I've also got good amount of under thigh support, which isn't the case with every vehicle in this segment. You've got rear AC vents, again two Type-C sockets. So yes, overall in terms of comfort, the Victoris scores high. Even in terms of practicality, in terms of storage spaces, both at the front and the back, the door pockets, even the driver armrest, all of it has been designed well. The Infinity by Harman audio system does a good job. I wouldn't say it's one of the best in the segment, but it gives you good audio quality. And beyond that, you've got a nice cushioned armrest here, adjustable headrests, and when you put all of these things together along with a good boot space, you get a car that gives you a nice, comfortable, feature loaded, tech loaded, and a good looking cabin. And that's exactly what a buyer today wants in this particular segment. And now coming to the driving part of the Victoris. Now one of the best things about the Victoris is that you get a lot of options in the powertrain. So when it comes to the engine, well, you have the 1.5 liter petrol engine to choose from, but along with that you get a lot of options. You want it in a regular petrol format, you can get it. You want it with a manual gearbox, you get it. You get it with an automatic gearbox. You want it with all-wheel drive, you get it. You want it with CNG, you can get it. You want a strong hybrid, you get that as well. And of course the regular variants are mild hybrid. So the plethora of options that you get as a buyer is really nice, and that also gives people the flexibility of selecting cars at different levels of budget. Now the one that we've been driving for the last 6 months plus is the all-wheel drive, the all grip as Maruti Suzuki calls it. Now this one has the same petrol engine. It puts out about 103 horsepower, and of course it has all-wheel drive. You get different modes, so you can put it into snow, sport, etc. And the system really works. Let me tell you, over these last few months I have witnessed times where I've gone over really bad surfaces, sand. Of course, it has rained in Gurgaon, and everyone knows what happens when it rains in Gurgaon. So slush, water, all of that, and the Victoris has never had any kind of a challenge. So the grip is there, the system is smart, it does the job for you. You don't have to really go ahead and fiddle around. All you need to do is not be foolish enough to just rev the hell out of the thing. If you drive smartly, the all-wheel drive system is very, very capable. The engine itself, it's a refined unit, doesn't make too much of a sound, and once you get going and once you're cruising, there's hardly any sound that filters inside the cabin. That said, getting off the ground when you really want to make a quick getaway, a quick launch, or when you are sort of trying to get a quick acceleration on the highway, in gear acceleration, that is when this engine does make some bit of sound, because keep in mind it's not a very powerful engine. At the end of the day, it just puts out about 103 horsepower, and when you really wanted to go quick, it does have to make a lot of effort to do that. So yes, that is a bit of a shortcoming I see in this. Something which has a all-wheel drive system that's so capable, I think probably the engine power could have been a bit more, and that basically is the only significant shortcoming I see in Victoris as a package. Like I've discussed earlier, the design is good, the features are great. You also get different fuel options, you get transmission options, but if you're a driving enthusiast, the Victoris doesn't have anything in the entire lineup for you. That is the only downside. But beyond that, if you see the upside, and one of the very bright positive sides of this vehicle is that in a segment that has a lot of turbo petrols and people struggle to get fuel economy, this is insanely good in terms of fuel economy. Like I said earlier, this is the all-wheel drive version. It's a mild hybrid, it's not even the strong hybrid. And yet over the last few months, despite all of the varied driving conditions, this vehicle has given us an average fuel efficiency of close to 16 kilometers a liter. And let me tell you, for an all-wheel drive vehicle without a hybrid system, that is mighty good. And this is in, mostly done in peak traffic, Gurgaon to Noida or Gurgaon to Delhi. So you guys would understand how the traffic is. Now, if you go in for a strong hybrid, of course, you can get fuel efficiency in excess of 20 kilometers to a liter. CNG has its own benefits. So no matter what kind of option you want, Maruti Suzuki is giving to you with Victoris. So while it might not be powerful to drive, it is fuel efficient for sure. And I think in the market, that is the requirement for majority of the buyers. Beyond that, it's a refined, it's a smooth, effortless vehicle to drive. All-round visibility is good. The automatic transmission works well, has been paired well to the engine. As a result of that, shifts are quick. You can take control of the gearbox using the paddle shifters. And beyond that, I haven't been able to experience any problem in the Victoris. Like I said earlier, last few months, All-wheel drive works great, fuel efficiency is great, refinement is nice. You can easily cruise at highway, expressway speeds, no problem at all. The only chink in the armor remains the fact that when you want to go fast, you need to put in a lot of effort. You can hear the engine making a lot of effort, and yeah, I mean, it's not a car that you would want to drive for its power, but beyond that, it's all sorted. Ride and handling is brilliant. Ride quality is very nicely balanced, so occupants stay comfortable even over broken surfaces, surface undulations. All of that has been taken care of. The steering wheel itself, when you're going around corners, it gives you a good amount of feedback. You know what's happening with the front wheels. The brakes do a good job of bringing the car to a quick halt. So all of the things work together and give you a car that is good to drive, comfortable, it's tech loaded, feature loaded, and at the same time you get multiple fuel options. So yes, it checks pretty much all the boxes. One other important thing for buyers is safety, and in terms of safety, as far as active safety is concerned, I said earlier, it's got ADAS. Also, other things such as ABS, AWD, all of that is there. The 360-degree camera with the option to switch between different angles, that's really helpful. And in terms of passive safety, again, as far as crash test rating is concerned, from Bharat NCAP and from Global NCAP, both the agencies have given this car a 5-star rating. So overall, in terms of safety, I think the Victoris checks all the boxes that one would need it to. And when it comes to pricing, you can see the pricing on your screen right now for all the variants, including the one that we've been driving. I think the Victoris has been priced very competitively for what it offers. It offers everything at par with the segment. In terms of features, it's better than most of its rivals. And like I said earlier, there's one attribute that it's very strong at, where most of its rivals aren't that strong, and that's fuel efficiency, which is a very important demand for this segment. One of the most fuel efficient, probably the most fuel efficient car in this segment, and that is basically what the Victoris is. So nicely priced, nice to look at, nice to drive, comfortable, feature packed. Let us know what do you think about the car, and if there's anything else you would want to know specifically about the duration that we have driven the car, let us know in the comment section and we'll be happy to answer.